The comic I just read is Tales of Suspense number 50 from February of 1964. This is the first appearance of the Mandarin, who is one of Iron Man's most recurring foes. The art is by Don Heck, script, of course, by Stan Lee, caught in the clutches of the hands of the Mandarin. No origin of the Mandarin here, but just note that he is all-powerful in this castle in China, and even members of the Communist Party have to answer to the Mandarin. Now, Iron Man's never heard of him, but he decides he's going to have to go over and see what's going on over in China there. So a lot of the Cold War themes that we see here. Meanwhile, Pepper Potts gets herself all done up, makeup to hide her freckles and everything, gets her hair done, and everybody's like, whoa, including Tony. Meanwhile, he goes over to China, and the Chinese army figure, oh, this guy just fell out of the plane, he's dead. They don't bother really to investigate to see if it's, a superhero or anything. So, at any rate, Iron Man quickly dispatches with the Chinese soldiers and then goes after the Mandarin, but the Mandarin has those 10 rings that are going to cause Tony fits. So they kind of counteract each other with that ring, and then Pepper gets asked to this event by Happy, and Happy's been crushing on Pepper since their first appearance. He decides to go. Meanwhile, Iron Man's like trapped. The depiction of the Mandarin is rather stereotypical of the time, and Tony figures out using, this is what I really liked, he uses his slide rule. So kids, that was a device that was used before a pocket calculator, which wasn't until like the early 70s. And they spell calculator ER here, although they do spell it correctly later on. He figures out the precise angle at which to thwart the Mandarin's karate chop, and his pain is so severe that he knocks himself out. So that was pretty fortunate. Meanwhile, Pepper's all kind of glamorous and stuff, but she's upset because Tony will think that, Happy and her are dating or whatever, and the Mandarin is going to have another shot at coming back. Meanwhile, there's this backup story by Lee and Lieber called Them, and then we have another Tales of the Watcher, which I think this is the second one, and this is basically just the Watcher narrating one of these sci-fi stories about this guy who goes off into space. It doesn't really have anything to do with Marvel continuity. Lee and Lieber worked on this one, and basically this guy volunteers because he's not very popular, and he volunteers to go off into space.